When you're in a state of stress, your body is doing drip, drip, drip of cortisol. Cortisol is then stimulating adrenaline. If you're playing cricket, as the ball is actually flying through the air and you're thinking about the next over, you're not present. You have to be 100% present with what's happening right there in the moment. Simple answer to that is practice. Practice. Prophet Muhammad, he was a trader. That's the best that he did. And when the time came, he did the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and so on and so forth. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. Elon Musk gets a lot more done in 24 hours than most of us do. You can maximize your productivity. You can maximize the intensity of your presence. Like, tiger is chasing us through a forest, climb up a tree, the adrenaline is good. Once we're up the tree, then we're like chill, we relax, the adrenaline is gone.
And if I do the same thing with my workout, if I do the same thing with my work,
exactly.
If I do the same thing with my hobby, if I do the same thing with my relationships.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the second part of our two-part episode on living well and living the optimal life. We have Asad Rezzvi here today. In this episode, we're going to talk about the non-physical. We talked about exercise, we talked about recovery, we talked about nutrition. But in addition to that, there is a psychological component that is involved in keeping you at your optimum level. Hi, Asad.
How are you, man? Good to be here.
So, we just finished talking about the exercise, recovery, and nutrition side of things.
Right.
We spend a lot of time on nutrition because that's the fuel that drives our body. And if the right fuel is not in your system, you'll never get the best output, right?
Absolutely.
We touched on exercise. Your focus was mostly around heavy weights, strength conditioning, because it prolongs life, gives you muscle fiber, muscle density you're wearing it out. And then you touched on recovery.
Yes.
Most people miss the recovery part.
Yes, absolutely.
And sleep is a big part of recovery.
Absolutely.
And that's a good segue into our psychological side of the discussion.
Yes.
And to me, I think of the psychological as four parts. The first to me is stress and the management of.
Yes.
Right? The second is the having this sense of purpose.
Yes.
The third is happiness.
Yeah.
And the fourth is, to me, it's the power of manifestation.
Okay.
Now let's see, do you agree with this? Let's start with that. Where should we start with on stress when it comes to recovery?
Look, I have a reference point for my own life. And I know from my experience that when I've had a mission or purpose in life, it doesn't matter what's going on. There's pressure, but there's not stress. When I don't have a purpose or a mission, then there's stress. Okay, and stress doesn't feel good because in the back of our mind, we're running a narrative that this is not good for me. I don't feel good. I don't want to do this. I wish this wasn't there, so on and so forth. Okay, so our body and our emotional state and therefore our endocrine system responds accordingly. Now, if you take the American Medical Association reference point, stress is probably the leading killer, meaning that is the biggest contributing factor to almost all major lifestyle diseases, which are the big diseases like cardiovascular disease, like cancers, etc., etc., etc.
They call them the four horsemen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, in I think Peter Attia's book.
Yeah.
So I think it's cardiovascular,
it's
cancer, there's diabetes, and then there's Alzheimer's, Parkinson's.
Yes,
neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah. So
and stress is linked directly to all four.
Absolutely, because stress creates chronic inflammation in your body, right? When you're in a state of stress, your body is doing drip, drip, drip of cortisol. Cortisol is then stimulating adrenaline. So adrenaline is something that was supposed to be there biologically. Like, tiger is chasing us through a forest, climb up a tree, the adrenaline is good. Once we're up the tree, then we're like chill, we relax, the adrenaline is gone. But today, it's like, oh, I see a message on my phone. Now the stress is there because I'm running the loop in my mind. Oh, how dare she say that? How dare he say that? Oh my God, I haven't got this done. I got to get that done. So on and so forth. We're running that. And it's running on a loop.
But pause, just on that,
Yeah.
how is that different from pressure? What you
Okay.
just said, oh, I need to get that done. Oh, they said that. Isn't that pressure? What is the difference between pressure and
Okay.
stress?
So for example,
Because pressure would then create the same adrenaline response in your body.
yes, but adrenaline is supposed to be a fight or flight. When it's done, it's like the it's like that at the end of a matchstick, that little bit of phosphorus. It's a spark that lights the fire. Then it's gone. Then you've got the slow burn. Okay, imagine if the spark just stays there forever. That's going to destroy your body. And that's what that drip, drip, drip adrenaline and cortisol is doing. Okay? Because we're running that loop. Now, the thing is this, let's talk about purpose a little bit. Let's talk about mission. Whether it's a small or big, it doesn't matter. Now, we have this misconception, and I'm sure people have their own ideas also out there. But slightly going into the spiritual aspect, what is your purpose in life? Okay, I look at it from a perspective, from a viewpoint, like you've got two purposes in life. Number one purpose in life is to be in the present moment, because this is where life is happening. Life didn't happen an hour ago. Life it didn't is not happening an hour from now. Okay, this here now is where life is actually happening. That's it. Life is one big present moment. So when you can physically, emotionally, spiritually be here 100%, you are the most powerful. Okay, that's just an objective reality. When your mind, body, and spirit is completely focused in the present moment. So, for example, imagine if you're playing a sport. Okay, if you're playing cricket, as the ball is actually flying through the air, and you're thinking about the next over, you're not present. You're going to be bowled out, or you're going to get injured, or something's going to happen. You have to be 100% present with what's happening right there in the moment.
I want to tell you that that feeling, that experience is
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest feelings you can ever experience, because I remember I recognized when that was happening to me.
Yeah.
And I only recognized that in my late 30s. And I was racing in the
Yeah.
middle of the desert
Yeah.
in a Jeep. And I was exactly where I wanted to be, doing exactly what I wanted at that given time, racing in the desert in a Jeep. And it was almost like my body and my soul and the Jeep and the steering and the transmission were one.
Exactly.
And like, I can't explain it. Like, literally, it was like I was thinking I need to go left, and I would go left. Like, it was literally everything was moving in one flow.
That's right.
And then I read later on that this is called like a flow state.
Exactly.
And it was after that feeling, I was like, can I recreate this in other areas of my life?
Yes, you can.
Morning runs, I have started getting that feeling. A bike ride, I've started getting that feeling. If I'm playing with my kids, I just want to disconnect and just play with them. But the challenge is, how do I get that feeling to last longer and longer? Typically, it maybe runs me 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes, and then it's gone.
Look, simple answer to that is practice. Practice. But here's the thing.
And that's purpose.
That is where purpose begins. When you can actually have more and more and more moments of being completely present. And the thing is this, you don't always have to be doing something, okay? You can literally sit in your chair and just decide, okay, I got to be present, mind, body, and spirit. Okay, you feel your body, you take a deep breath, you bring all your energy, your thoughts into this present moment. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is, and that's how deceptive it is. But it feels great because we're biologically, spiritually, emotionally designed to live in the present moment. Now, I want to make sure that people understand and not misunderstand this thing. That doesn't mean that you don't have execution roadmaps of what you're going to do in the next one day or 1 week or 1 year or for a lifetime. Okay, that doesn't mean that you suddenly become devoid and you don't have a memory of the past. No, you do. But the thing is, all your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual energy is concentrated like a laser in the present moment where life is actually happening, so you have maximum power. Okay, so let's take something. Matlab, right now you related a very profound experience, right? You're in the Jeep, you're racing, all that. But let's just say if you're in the gym, let's say if you're lifting weights, you're going to have maximum productivity if you are 100% present with your mind, body, spirit, with your muscle connection, as you're lifting that weight. Now,
But some people always have this narrative, I could do better, I'm not doing it good enough, maybe I'm not good enough. There's this lack of inner belief, right?
Yeah,
कि यार कि
absolutely.
मैं मतलब कर भी सकता हूँ यार या नहीं कर सकता.
Yeah.
मतलब I'm not good enough to do this. How do you break that narrative? Because, you know, ठीक है, fine, I'm here, I'm doing this thing, I've accepted my fate and I'm here.
yes.
That's part one.
Yeah.
Part two is, am I really doing the best job as a podcaster sitting you? Am I asking you the right questions? Am I doing this? Are these the best cameras? Like, what if I'm constantly second guessing myself?
Okay, so that means you're not present. You're in your head. Okay, so first thing is get present. Okay, the best that you're going to do is when you're absolutely present, when you're laser focused. Think about it. Imagine a laser, if the tiny rays of light are dissipating from that laser, it's not going to be so focused. It's not going to be so powerful. A laser can cut through metal, light. That's all it is. When it's concentrated, every iota of it is 1000% concentrated. It can cut through metal. Okay, it can bring down missiles. It can do incredible things. But if it starts to get dissipated, if the laser starts thinking, "Oh, I'm not good enough," then the laser is not going to be a laser any longer. Okay? Yeah, we've got all this narrative, and look, with all due respect to psychologists, and I got a psychology background from Berkeley, okay, so I can say this stuff. We've made a caricature out of this whole therapy business. Okay? Part of it is valid. Okay? There are people out there who do need therapy, but there's a lot of people who are just crying their way through life and thinking, poor me, life sucks, it should have been better for me, I didn't deserve this and I didn't deserve that. Get over it. Start doing what you're supposed to be doing. You need to go to the gym, get to the gym. If you need to work, get to work. Whatever it is that you need to do, just get it done to the best of your ability possible. Okay? Be 100% present, get the knowledge, get the skills, do the best that you can. And then look at it. Take a step back in the evening or during the day, whenever, take a step back and say, what could I have done better? And then do it better the next day. And then better the next day. If all you do is improve 1% every single day, that's going to add up to become an exponential improvement by the end of the year. And by the end of the decade, your life is going to be
Looking
a dream.
different completely.
Okay. So the thing is this, what I want to emphasize is simple. Let's just keep it very simple. Let's not make it into a rocket science, mumbo jumbo, spiritual foo-foo thing. Okay. What is my purpose in life? Let me sit on a mountaintop and meditate until it comes to me, and then I'm going to go out there and conquer the world. Hey man, no one did it like that. Okay. Whatever you believe in, you know, Prophet Muhammad, he was a trader. Okay. That's the best that he did. And when the time came, he did the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and so on and so forth.
But he did go to a mountain for 40 days.
He did when it came to him that he needs to do it, but then he did that at 100%. He wasn't like, hey man, let me do the mountain from 3 to 8 p.m. and before and after, I'm going to do this. I'm going to catch up with this. I'm going to scroll a little bit. You know, he didn't do that. He was like, I don't care food, I don't care water, I don't care anything, I don't care life or death. I'm going to do the mountain 100%.
No, but so look, I think there's one thing that I struggle with here, right? Like, so you've basically said that live in the moment,
Absolutely.
live in the here and the now,
Because this is where life is happening.
which is where this is happening.
Objective
right now,
reality.
right? So that's number one. So that's your flow state.
Yeah.
Right, and be in that
Trigger to a flow state.
trigger to a flow state,
Yeah.
and be and try to understand how to get there.
Yeah.
Right. That's the first part. The second part, what you said, was basically you are intended to be here.
Exactly.
Right? You are not meant to be anywhere else but here.
Because this is where you're at.
Because but accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take those two.
Yeah.
To me, the difference between pressure and stress is stress happens when there is an expectation in the mind that there is a different place I should have been and I am not there now.
Fine.
right? There's a different expectation that I should have been doing this by the time I was 40 or 30 or 20.
Absolutely.
And here I am doing this.
Yeah.
And then that gap, that differential is what creates stress.
Absolutely.
I should spend more time with the kids.
Absolutely.
I should eat more vegetables.
Yeah.
I should go and spend time. That to me creates a stress.
Okay.
Right?
Let's talk about that.
How do you change that alignment, the should, and that this is happening? And how do you make it more linear where like, okay, I need to spend more time with the kids. All right, I'm going to get up from here and go spend time with the kids. Like I'll just take that decision and get it done. And then I'll come back to this thing. People have a problem switching,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They get stuck in the should, creates the stress.
Yeah.
The pressure, on the other hand, right, which as you said is different. How does that look different in that case, right? So let's say I give you a situation. Every working person thinks I should spend more time with my children.
Yeah.
It's everyone's thought, right?
Sure.
How can you change that to make it a living in the moment, change it from a stress to a pressure situation?
Okay. So this is going to be, I suppose, another different conversation, but okay. So everyone has 24 hours in a day. Okay. Elon Musk gets a lot more done in 24 hours than most of us do. Okay. But he's got still the same 24 hours. But here's the thing. The reason why I bring that up is because you can maximize your productivity. You can maximize the intensity of your presence. You can maximize the physical energy that you have. So for example, somebody whose energy level is very low, their mental energy is going to be low, their physical energy is going to be low, their spiritual energy is going to be low, their relationship energy is going to be low, everything is going to be, creative energy is going to be low, okay? If all you did was maximize your physical energy, the amount of energy that you have in your body by taking care of your health, anything that you do, you'll be doing it at a higher level. That means somebody with a lower level of energy, if they're spending the same time doing it, will get less done. If you maximize your health and your wellness and your vitality, you'll be getting a lot more done. Okay? Imagine you get a lot more done in less time. Now you've got time freed up. Okay? Now you decide, I want to spend time with my kids. Stop spending time with your kids. Think about what is the outcome that you want to achieve with your kids. Do you want to laugh with your kids? Do you want to do something creative with your kids? Do you want to play with your kids and be like a kid with them? Decide what the outcome is, okay? And then do that with 1000% concentration, with 1000% presence and total abandon, so that you feel rejuvenated and your kids are like, wow, I got the best dad in the galaxy, okay? They grow up with that experience. Now, imagine this. If you give that experience to your kids, maybe just once a week, it's going to fill them up spiritually and emotionally so much that even if you're not there 6 days a week, they'll be like, you know what? When my dad is here, we're like flying. We're doing this. We're doing that. They're going to cherish that. As opposed to your other dad who just comes home, he's like, oh, idhar aao, baitho, kya kar rahe ho? Haan, chalo, kuch gap shap karte hain. Chips khana hai? Chips kha lete hain. They're like, yeah, dad, he's kind of boring and stuff. You know, he likes to eat chips and he likes to talk about our homework and stuff. Hey, man, you know, we think kids are dumb, but they're not. They're way sharper than us. Remember when we were kids and we used to think that adults are dumb? Well, kids these days are thinking we're dumb. Because, you know why? One secret, they are 1000% present in the moment. They have not yet learned to be dissipated. So when they see us a mile away, they can tell, oh, Abu is in a good mood, bad mood, bogus mood. He's going to bore us to death today again. Okay, you know what? Let's start making excuses. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up. But all I'm saying is this. Whatever you do, do it with 1000% presence. If you're going to work with 1000% presence. If you're going to play with your kids, do that. If you're going to get healthy, do that with 1000. Anything you concentrate, you will start getting really good at. Your creative juices are going to start flowing. You will get the kind of output that 99% of other people don't. You remember what we talked about last time? Being a lone wolf, and I said, find your wolf pack. Well, when you find your wolf pack, this is what they do in the wolf pack. They're maximizing everything in their life.
This was amazing, Asad. Thank you so much for the time. I really enjoyed doing both parts. I think this is the only time I've done a two-part episode. This is a subject that honestly fascinates me. I've done a lot of reading around this, and it's always refreshing to find someone in the close vicinity of where we live
Yeah.
who has a similar thinking. Because I think that this thinking needs to go out. And whether people agree or disagree with it, that's fine.
Sure.
More people disagree with it, hopefully it stokes a fire that makes them think
Yes,
about
absolutely.
what they're currently doing, right? But I appreciate you taking the time. You guys have a great new initiative.
Vitolyze.
Vitolyze. Tell me about that. Maybe give me a quick plug for a minute.
Sure. Basically, over the last 30 years, when I transformed myself from a sick, dying child to becoming a competitive kickboxing athlete, I went through a journey of having to discover what are the real metrics and parameters that allow you to really be healthy at a performance level. Okay. So when I cracked the code on energy, vitality, and health, I started to help a lot of people around me. Okay. Family, friends, people who used to be referred to me, and so on and so forth. And over the last 30 years, this has taken many shapes and forms. I've been an athlete myself, and being an athlete, I helped other athletes up their game. Then I helped a lot of friends and family, and some of those people were terminally ill, helped them overcome terminal illness to where they were living and still are today living healthy lives. Okay. When the doctor told them, just go home and wind up your affairs, you're going to die. Okay. Then I ran a clinic at Hilal-e-Ahmar at Teen Talwar for 2 years for terminally ill patients and helping them, giving them the possibility that they don't have to accept this death sentence. Okay. And I actually had successes. Then I worked with the Pakistan cricket team and so on and so forth. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is over the last 30 years, what I realized is people have a lot of expectations for their life, but they don't give their body the right fuel. And health is something that most people will not put in the resources and the time and the energy for. They'll make a lot of effort to make money, but not for their body. So what we did is basically we created Vitolyze in a way which is totally natural, and all of these resources were created in sports medicine. Okay? So we've got this thing called NAD+. It's an infusion. NAD is a totally natural substance. It's already there in every cell of your body, but over a period of lifetime and life events and disease and medication and stress, etc., it depletes NAD. When you infuse NAD, NAD regenerates and repairs every single cell in your body and every single strand of DNA. So quite objectively, it is reversing the aging process. And the more you fill your body up with NAD over time and maintain it at a high level, you actually start to age in reverse. Your organ function improves. Your skin health improves. Your fine lines and wrinkles start to disappear. You have more physical energy. Your mental clarity and sharpness and focus goes up. Your emotional state rises. You become more buoyant. You start to feel lighter about life. Okay, and that's why NAD is being used as a very powerful therapy to help people get rid of depression and anxiety and stress damage. Okay, athletes use it to up their game in performance. People just going about their business use it to make sure they've got a lot of energy and vitality, and if they need that extra boost of creativity, they come in and get shots of NAD. So on and so forth. NAD is known as a miracle molecule for this reason, but it has been relegated to the top 1%. Sports, professional athletes, NASA used it, special forces used it, very expensive spas and medical clinics. So we brought this to Pakistan, and what we've done is created an extraordinary sequence. We've paired that up with lymphatic drainage. So 20 minutes of lymphatic drainage helps to get rid of toxicity from your body, improves circulation, drops inflammation markers, improves oxygenation in your cells. So when you take an NAD, NAD goes in deeper.
What is lymphatic drainage?
It's sort of like a spacesuit that you wear, totally non-invasive, and it's got pneumatic pressure which uniformly compresses and decompresses your muscles all over your body.
It's like a massage.
sort of like a massage, but a very uniform massage all over your body, all at the same time.
And then you inject the NAD plus.
Well, we do the NAD before that.
Okay.
So the NAD is then absorbed deeper and you release toxins from your body.
And how do I feel after this?
You'll feel refreshed. Your energy levels go up. Okay? Now, the magic of NAD is most people report feeling better within 24 hours. That's why it's known as a miracle molecule. This doesn't take...
How often do I need to do this on a weekly?
Depends on your lifestyle, depends on your outcomes, depends on your history, so on and so forth.
And what does it cost?
Costs quite a bit, okay? But the reason it costs quite a bit is because when you take NAD, so for example, one 500 milligram IV is for 100,000, okay?
It's for how much?
100,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But here's the thing. There's nothing else that can compare to NAD.
And how often do I need that 100,000 shot?
Depends on your outcome. Depends also on what your health level is at this point in time. But so if we were talking about you specifically, you're fairly health conscious, you work out, you're in pretty good state. To get you to a really good level where you can maintain it would take probably about 4 to 6 IVs over a period of 6 weeks. Okay? And then what we do is do a lifestyle analysis and a lifestyle modification plan for you to help you maintain it at that level. And anytime you felt like you've had a bit of a dip, you want to come in, you just get another shot. But when you're spending 400 to 600,000 rupees, this is doing something that no medicine can, almost nothing else can. This is literally reversing your biological age. So if you are 45, you can actually objectively get to 35 or 30 or even 25 or even lower. Okay, there are people who are doing it these days. So you can actually do that. Then we also pair that up with photobiomodulation, which is a totally non-invasive therapy. It's basically, these are custom-made panels for Vitolyze. They have 5 specific wavelengths of light. The light penetrates your body, improves organ function, repairs damaged tissue nerves, so really good for neurodegenerative diseases, improves mental cognitive function, lowers inflammation markers, and increases mitochondrial energy production in your cells. And get this, by up to 16 times. That's extraordinary. Nothing else can do that. So we've sequenced these things together to give you an extraordinary boost, literally within days. Okay.
Now, if I pair that with the topic and the lifestyle we covered, you're basically superhuman by the end of the year.
Yes, you can. And the thing is, one of the reasons I started this was for a very selfish reason, was because I decided, look, I'm in my 50s right now. I haven't gotten married. I've promised my family that I'm going to get married this year for sure, okay? So, I want to be playing with my kids and I want to enjoy life till my very last breath. And I know how to do that. I'm doing that already. Biologically, my age is a lot lower than chronologically, okay? The level of intensity that I lift with, that I play with, that I work with, it's just testament to that. But, so what we've done is to describe the entire chain. We've created proprietary precursors. So when you take these precursors, your NAD is absorbed a lot deeper. Then you go into lymphatic drainage, then you go into photobiomodulation, then you do your lifestyle modification and analysis. So you've got an entire chain, a sequence of treatment protocol where you can get extraordinary results literally within days.
So I'm like Superman and Batman at the end of a year.
If you so choose to be, if you have the discipline, absolutely. This is the closest thing to a guarantee that you can get. That if you have the discipline and you are willing to do the work,
all right, I can
get you there.
I'll come try. I'm doing a little bit of this stuff, but I'm going to come try that for
Definitely.
sure. I think it sounds
look forward to having you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Asad. I appreciate that. And I look forward to staying in touch. And thank you all for tuning into DigiTales. Like, comment, subscribe. Please let me know who you'd like to see next. We love taking your feedback and incorporate that into the content. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.